What's up, everybody? Welcome into the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We are live here on a Tuesday, still in all-star break mode. We're still remote, but I believe the Nuggets are back to Denver. Presented by Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app. Bet $5, win $200 in bonus bets. Fun show coming up today. First, we are going to hit on the news of legendary Nuggets coach Doug Moe passing away. We got a friend of the show, Jeff Morton, who knows more about Doug Moe than maybe anybody. He'll be joining us in segment one. After that, we're going to talk about the biggest questions for the Nuggets coming out of the All-Star break. I put together a few questions that I think are probably going to define their post-All-Star break run heading into the playoffs. I'm Harrison Wynn. To do that, I've got D-Line with me.
That's right, guys. And to be fair to us, we're only remote because we have that terrible practice facility. You know, like why we're not going to get any championship won with this kind of practice facility.
Yeah, there's a leak in the ceiling. That's what made us go remote today.
Yeah.
Also got Brendan Vogt in the house.
What's up, guys? I see now I forgot to wear my mustache today. Probably a good time to reveal that it was a clip-on the entire time.
Why didn't you clip it right back on then? What the hell, dude?
I can't find it anywhere. By the way, so the chat knows we're only all remote because everyone just decided to leave at the same time. There wasn't really everyone just left. Every single we're all gone.
It's almost like it's the All-Star break or something.
Yeah, it's the All-Star
break.
Yeah. It's not a coincidence.
Which is awesome how it was like, yeah, I'm going to be out of town. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, you know what? We're all out of town. We're doing this.
We're men of the world. We can't be held down by mustaches or, timelines, whatever. We don't care.
Yeah, you say that as you're the only one in the office right now.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, this is BS, dude.
No, wait, you're here. You're there. What?
This stinks.
Our top story today, and let's bring in our friend of the show, Jeff Morton here.
Hey,
Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hey, it's nice to see my former employee, Brendan Vogt, looking so young, like younger than he did when he was at Mile High Sports. So I'm impressed by this. I wish I could have what you're having because I only get older.
Yeah, I mean, I think technically that's happening to me as well. The key is to grow a mustache.
Yeah, and then get rid of it.
Grow and then shave. You go back and forth in time.
It is like a time. It's like a time batting donut. You just make yourself look way older than you are, and then you shave it off, and everyone thinks you're 11 years old.
Yeah, people don't remember. This is actually what I looked like for like 6 of the 8 years we've done this job. But
it was tough. Those were tough years.
It's a mustache. Looking, it's someone who's often worn a mustache. It just does things to you. People look at you differently. They like step back. It's amazing.
It does.
Jeff, our top story today, though, legendary Nuggets coach Doug Moe passed away. A legendary figure in Nuggets history, one of their greatest coaches of all time. Mm-hmm. An offensive genius, an innovator, a great leader, just an all-time great NBA, ABA character. Mm-hmm. Doug Moe and just kind of his lore a lot better than us. So I was just going to give you the floor, man. I mean, what did you immediately think of? What immediately came to your mind when you saw the news today?
Someone swearing at the top of his lungs at Bill Hanslick. That is immediately the first thought I had, because I used to listen to the Nuggets on KOA back in the day, and their play-by-play guy was the sole guy with him, Jeff Kingery, and he would have to talk louder over Doug Moe because Doug Moe would be screaming at the top of his lungs, using every sort of swear word you could possibly use at Bill Hanslick. Literally, that specifically at Bill Hanslick. Hanslick, hey Hanslick, and then whoa, 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 whoa. It was unbelievable. And of course, I learned my swear as anyone who was growing up in the '80s could tell you, and as a Nuggets fan, I learned my swear words from Doug Moe.
Nice.
That's kind of like how Adam talks to Kale. Same kind of relationship. I feel like. Hey, Kale.
It's true. Actually.
Yeah.
This is probably why Bill Hanslick likes defense so much. He just
yes, he knows the eye starts twitching. Starts remembering, yeah.
Jeff,
I have
though,
a question.
for Nuggets fans who just aren't as familiar with Doug Moe as some others are, there's a lot of new Nuggets fans that watch the show. There's a lot of people who just started following this team and following this franchise over the last several years. Like, what do people need to know about who Doug Moe was?
First and foremost, he was a character. I mean, that's the first thing, because his brown suits that he wore, and it was always brown, and his tie was always over here somewhere, and that's the first thing you think of. But the second thing you should think of is that the Nuggets offense in the 80s was unique to literally the entire 80s. No one ran it like they did. And it was a lot of passing, but it was very random. So people would move and cut and do all this stuff, but they would pass as much as they could. And there wasn't a good shot thing. It was just like, if you're open, just shoot it. And that is what it was, because there wasn't the emphasis on three-point line, blah, blah, blah. And that is another thing he did. He innovated offense in the 80s and doesn't get the credit I think he deserves for inspiring Mike D'Antoni with the 7 seconds or less. Because D'Antoni was, not coincidentally, I think, an assistant coach under Bill Hanslick. And that is, he learned a lot of offense from the Bill Hanslick bringing that Moe stuff. And always think about that too. But anyway, I could digress for like 3 hours here. And I know your segment is only going to be like 15 minutes. So I'll shut up now.
We didn't bring you on to shut up. We actually brought you on to talk. That's why you're here.
I don't. You guys don't want the Morton filibuster, but another thing that I think of with Doug is him toasting his own firing.
Nice.
The Bernie Bickerstaff fired him. It was really, crappy way that that had happened. It was really not good. They let him conduct the draft and then fired him, and they fired him with like 3 weeks, about a month to go before the season was going to start. That's how bad it was. So he gets up there. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, open Hawaiian shirt. Big Jane, his wife, is with him, and he just gets up. Carl Scheer is the only Nuggets executive who bothered to show up at the time. And he just gets up and he pours himself some champagne and toasts his firing. And I bet he was good and drunk by the time he left that press conference.
Is that maybe why he got fired?
Yeah, maybe.
Go for it.
What was Hanslick doing? Or not? We did this so many times. It was always about Hanslick.
Here's the thing. I don't know. And this is the thing.
Thing.
If you watch some of these games, and I remember my first basketball memory is Dan Issel hitting a 3-point shot to end his career against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals in 1985. That's my first Nuggets real full memory that I retained. But even then, in those Western Conference Finals, Moe was screaming at Hanslick all the time. And I think we all have narrowed it down on, we can't figure it out what, he was never actually doing anything wrong. It's just he was the guy that he chose to focus in on because he couldn't yell at TR Dunn. So, I mean, that is literally it. You can say he wouldn't yell at TR Dunn. He would yell at Alex English a little, but Hanslick was the whipping boy. And I think that was just it. He was the designated whipping boy. I think even Hanslick is not sure what he did. If you talk to Bill, I've talked to Bill about it, and he always shrugged. He was like, I don't know. It's like, I was just out there doing my thing. He told me to guard Kareem. And then so he would go out there, 6'7" Bill Hanslick guarding, 7-foot Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it was, kind of that way. There was never a reason. He didn't need a reason.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. We were talking right before you came on. I think that Doug Moe is the most iconic coach in all of Denver sports history. I think that his image and his sort of story and lore is bigger than really any other coach has been. Maybe Dan Reeves, maybe Kubiak. I mean, the Brown and Shanahan. Maybe Shanahan has a little bit of a claim to that. But there was the fact that he was such a character, like you say, was just Like my entire childhood, I just knew about Doug Moe with the crumpled suit, like super loud plaid, hand and face, tie all messed up. Like he was just like the coolest. Like I just love thinking about the idea of Doug Moe. It's like, it always makes me happy.
It's funny because, you look at it now and, due respect to David Adelman, but he's kind of a wet sponge. So you transfer that to Doug Moe, who is literally one of the biggest, absolutely. I mean, I would actually say that he's the biggest personality to ever come through Denver sports. There's nothing that matches him. I mean, he was all-encompassing. He was the personality of the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets had Alex English as their star, and Alex was quiet, didn't really talk much, kind of surly. There wasn't a lot of that coming out of him. So it was up to really him. And actually, I will draw a correlation with Michael Malone. Michael Malone was kind of the personality of this era of the Nuggets when he was here, and that was a lot of Doug Moe. Doug Moe was just so all-encompassing. And there was a radio interview I listened to when I was a kid with him and Dan Reeves. They had them together. I forget what event it was at, but I vividly remember listening to this on KOA. And both of them were clearly getting more progressively drunk as the radio interview was going on.
Dude, that's like when we first started taking shots of Rocky every time someone gave us a super chat.
Right.
And by the end, our show was like literally almost like barely illegal. I mean, it was just like barely legal.
Barely.
Maybe that's not the right phrase, but whatever.
Sure.
There's a lot to unpack there, Eric. There is a lot to unpack.
Yeah, that was tough. Can we delete that and start this?
I'm not even sure how to say. No, I was, it's really fun, but they were getting drunk, and it was like the only time I ever hear Dan Reeves laugh was when he was with Doug Moe. So it was just so much there, so much of. Moe would scream at the top of his lungs, and the histrionics and stuff like that. His coat was hanging part way off of him as he was yelling, and it was always performative because right after the game he'd be fine. It was just like, unlike Malone, who would carry grudges.
Right. Malone was real.
Yes, he was really.
I mean, obviously the connection there is you just released 2 New York insane asylum, basically just residents, and you just drop them into the fair city of Denver, Colorado, and no one's ready for their level of New York intensity. And so they're like, it's just no one knows. Like everyone here is defenseless against it. This is what happens when anytime somebody moves here from New York. They're like, dude, everyone's slow. You can just take advantage of everybody.
Whereas like when Malone would yell at me, I would go, that feels like home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moe was a performative head. And Michael Malone was an actual hothead, and it's the whole thing is just like it's got brought back so many memories of just what the Nuggets did in the '80s and how it stuck out like a sore thumb. No one did what the Nuggets did in the '80s. Everyone hated coming to Denver, because the Nuggets would run them out of the gym. I mean, they would be gassed. But I mean, the Celtics never won in Denver. They just Larry Bird just could not win in Denver, and it was because that's the way the Nuggets did it. And the Nuggets had that tradition for unlike this year, the Nuggets had that tradition for a long time of just having an excellent home team and then just not winning on the road, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so funny because like his personality and the suits and his yelling is probably what most people point to. It might actually be a little underrated how good of a coach he was.
It is super underrated.
Yeah, like you mentioned the offense, Jeff, and that's definitely like where he made his mark, the innovation there. Yeah. He won 432 games in the regular season as the Nuggets coach. That number's retired in the rafters at Ball Arena. That record stood for a long time. George Karl didn't eclipse it in terms of regular season wins. It stood until Michael Malone did, just a couple years, I think, before, he was let go.
Yeah, so, it was last year. Yeah.
Was it in the last year? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to be looked back as kind of an underrated coach just because he had so much other stuff going on around him.
Oh yeah.
One way to think about it is that his record, like first off, you couldn't get away with his antics if you weren't successful. You would just be a clown
Sure.
if you were
Sure.
just squawking around and actually losing all the time. But his record was so good that it took Nikola Jokic to break it. Like that's
Yes.
that's how good
Very
Doug
Right.
Moe is.
And
Yeah.
to do what he did in Denver, which obviously historically as an NBA franchise downtrodden, to do it without one of the maybe 10 best players to ever lived, it's incredible. It's really incredible. And I always like the way, Michael Malone was really, really appreciative and vocal about Doug Moe laying the foundation. It really meant a lot to him to have passed that record. And I just thought it was really cool. I thought, we talked in the past about how this organization maybe could do a better job of connecting to its history. But one thing as a newcomer to Denver, I felt like was I got the Doug Moe picture. It was painted very clearly to me. And it's to this day, extremely important to a lot of people involved in the organization.
Brendan, were you here when they did the 50th anniversary thing, or was that a little before you? Because I remember Doug came in and he was in great spirits, tremendous spirits. Oh my God, he was having such a good time that night. And Mutombo was here, Dan Issel was the MC, and it was a real celebration of everything that went on with the Nuggets. And I think that's the thing about 2026 is it's not 1990 when he was fired, and it's 36 years. And there's entire generations of kids who are watching the Nuggets basketball and have no clue, no idea what it meant. And that Nuggets team, you got to remember, until when he was fired, there was only two major sports franchises in Denver, the Broncos and the Nuggets. And that's all we had. So literally your biggest icons were the basketball team and the football team. And Doug Moe was such a huge part of that. And it's disrespectful to say a huge part. He was just all encompassing. And I'm sad today. Doug Moe was such a big part of my formative years as a Nuggets fan. And hearing him on interviews and just enjoying him as the personality and innovator he was. And it sucks. I mean, I've known this has been coming for a while. He's been in poor health in San Antonio where he lived. And I hope he gets some good honorariums from the Nuggets after this, because he really deserves it. This Nuggets franchise would not be where it is right now if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Jeff, I appreciate it, man.
And I mean, like, just quickly, like,
well, Eric, I do think we have to break pretty soon, but
I was just saying, like, quick, I'm sad about it too. I think everybody surrounding the Nuggets is sad today, except for maybe Bill Hansley.
Well put, man. Well put.
Oh my God. Okay.
Jeff, thanks so much for hopping on, man. We appreciate it.
Of course.
good to see you, brother.
Bye, guys.
All right, let's hit a break. On the other side, we'll turn our attention post All-Star break. Talk about the biggest questions that will define this team coming out of the break right after this. Hey, athletes, weekend warriors, and anyone who loves to move. For those experiencing any sports injury or chronic pain, the Common Spirit Mountain Region is home to an incredible sports medicine program that includes their new sports center, Common Spirit Health, in Parker. This team of qualified and passionate providers specializes in the diagnosis, treatment, prevention of sports-related injuries for all athletes, including your Denver Broncos players. Their experts understand the unique demands that your body faces, so you'll get personalized treatment from them, and you'll get personalized treatment plans exactly for what your body needs, combining things like physical therapy, injury prevention strategies, and strength training. This isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about preventative care, performance enhancement, and getting you back to peak condition safely and quickly. Don't let an injury keep you on the bench, or even better, get proactive about your health. For more information, visit mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Also, check out Gold Crown Foundation. If you have a son, a daughter, you want to get involved in competitive basketball. If you grew up playing basketball in Colorado like I did, chances are you played in the Gold Crown Competitive Basketball League. Now they've got divisions for 4th through 8th grade teams. They've got feeder teams, gold, silver, bronze division. It's all the high schools around Colorado. You don't only play in high school gyms, you can play at the Gold Crown Fieldhouse as well. 6 courts, high energy. It's a great time out there every weekend. Now's the time to find a team in your area. Tryout pages are on the websites. Check with your local school district and your local schools. You can learn more. Sign up by scanning the QR code on that screen. You can see it right there. Or you can visit goldcrownfoundation.com. Again, if you have a son or daughter who wants to get started in competitive basketball, there's no better place to do it than Gold Crown. Sign up today, goldcrownfoundation.com. You can hit that QR code right there on the screen. All right, we're back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We're presented by Bet365. Coming up on Monday, sticking with the theme of Nuggets lore, Nuggets history, there's a ABA documentary coming out, Soul Power, and we're having George Karl live at the bar in person, along with a couple, ABA players on Monday, the 23rd, to watch this documentary. So come hang out 6 to 8:30. You got to RSVP. You can just go to thednvr.com. We'll put a link in the show notes as well under this episode. But come hang out. It's going to be a really fun night. We're going to watch, the documentary, and then we're going to do a Q&A with George Karl. So should be a really fun night at Nuggets Hoops. That's Monday, February 23rd. Just make sure you RSVP. Let us know you're coming. Really excited about that.
Very cool.
And just to be clear, the Soul Power is already out, and it's multi episodic.
Yep.
We're watching We're watching like an episode or two, but it's getting like insane reviews. Like people love it. It was like number 2 nationally. It's like making big waves. So it'll be cool to hear George's comment on a lot of what was going on in it.
Yeah, making an event, right? Just another reason to the community to convene, talk basketball, be together. It should be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know a lot about the ABA. Like, I should know a lot more than I do, especially because the Nuggets were such a important part of it.
Right.
But I'm excited to start to learn more. Excited for the event.
Agreed.
Guys, before we get into the biggest questions for the Nuggets post All-Star break, the All-Star game was on Sunday. All-Star weekend just happened. I know we kind of wanted to hit on this a little bit before we got further into the show. What did you guys think?
I'll go first. Like I was very impressed. I will say the first part of it it radicalized me in that I have 55 streaming services and I could not find it was on the one that I don't have, and I was like, this is not okay. It's not okay that I can't see this goddamn thing. So I didn't see the first couple games. I tuned in right as I think the second game was halfway through. So I got I got 2 good endings to games, and I was like, damn, they're like playing defense. They're like actually playing. This is really cool. I was impressed. I didn't think it was possible. And I put an apology out to Adam Silver. I did not think it was possible. We have mocked him pretty heavily for his ideas of trying to spice up the NBA season. But I kind of think he's done it. Like, everybody likes the in-season tournament while it's happening. When it's not happening, it's the biggest joke on earth. But you're into it while it's happening.
Right.
And then the All-Star game, I was like, I'm not even going to watch this goddamn thing. Like, I wasn't upset.
Well, especially after how big of a flop Saturday was.
For
Right.
sure.
Right. It's a great point.
And,
Yeah,
and then Sunday comes and you're like, okay, it's kind of working.
It was great. Yeah. So I just didn't even think I needed to find it, but people were like, what the hell's going on at the All-Star game? And I was like, God damn it. Then I had to find nefarious ways to watch the show. So, but it was good. I couldn't believe it.
I agree. They're the best one in years and years.
Yeah.
The finals was a dud just because one team was so much better than the other. But the first 3 games were really good. And it was to the point where I was out like watching it out and about, like having to handle some other stuff. And like, I really didn't want to miss the endings of any of these games. You know what I mean? I really wanted to watch every second of the game I could. I wasn't as glued to the entire I watched all of the games. I wasn't as glued to the entire broadcast. It did feel to me like it was more just about the games and less bells and whistles and BS in between them.
Yeah, we didn't get a 1 hour send off for Ernie.
Dude, that is jading. I think people's picture of what happened in the last All-Star game is a bit jaded because I don't think the game was actually the worst that's ever been. Everybody was just so pissed about the TNT stuff that's all anybody can remember from last year's version.
Totally. So I was really glad there wasn't that. I do think some of this stuff interrupted the other events, but they didn't stop the All-Star game so that Drewski could do a skit or whatever. You know what I mean? They just kind of
they almost did. They didn't though.
I kind of dude. I don't know. Adam Silver might have the spirit of competition inside of him.
Well, first of all, you said this, Eric, in the chat, and I think this is the best part. This is the tournament part of it. I think helps.
Yes.
And so many guys were hurt. So it didn't really end up being the kind of World versus USA narrative thing they were hoping for. But even still, just by virtue of it being a tournament and the games were shorter, and so there were a bigger percentage of each of the games were parts of the game that the guys cared about. And, I think you have to credit the people who were even kind of annoying about it, like Wemby being really annoying about it.
You absolutely do. Dude,
I was going to say, man, Jamal's not on the same level as some of the guys in the All-Star game. Jamal's an incredible player. Some of those guys obviously are some of the very, 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 very best players ever play. And, he struggled a lot in that first game. Even him coming out and saying, if these guys don't want to play hard, I'll go take that MVP. No problem. Look, was Jamal ever really going to win the MVP? Probably not. Saying that stuff though, I do think it all kind of swirled to well, I'm not going to be the only one who doesn't try for most of these guys. And so I think credit to the individuals who did really want it to happen. And then I think Anthony Edwards too was the guy who sensed that that's what everyone else was doing and was like, yeah, I'm going to do it too. And then it got contagious. And that Kawhi moment, man, I mean,
unbelievable.
If you think about it, guys, that may be Kawhi's last chance at a real kind of
that was so wild.
Big send-off and legendary moment. And that sounds so funny now because the All-Star game became such a joke, but it actually felt like a real moment to me. Mm-hmm. All those guys playing hard in LA. Look, obviously Kawhi's been a lot of headlines and probably is not going to compete for another championship again, but he made that moment kind of his. And it was a nice reminder of just how good this guy once was and still can be. I thought there was a real kind of wow, I'm glad I was here for this moment component to that.
Good call, man. It was it felt big. Yeah. And it didn't feel like it. I think the overarching thing here is that it took itself seriously. The whole thing, it wasn't a joke about the NBA. The All-Star game has been a joke about the NBA for years and years. You're like, yeah, cool. Way to highlight all the worst parts about what you guys do. Why are you doing this? But can we talk about the downside, the negative of
the elephant in the room?
Sure. So I said this, the Nuggets kind of had a disastrous All-Star break. If you can have a disastrous All-Star break, if as far as perception is concerned, Kevin Durant called out Jokic and Luka before the game happened, just saying hey man, it's the Europeans. They don't want to play. And we were like, man, screw you. It's everybody. And then it was literally only Jokic and Luka that didn't play hard. And Kevin Durant was right. and it's not wrong, but it's it doesn't matter. But that was a rough narrative moment for the Jokic stands of the world, I believe.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, to be honest. I will say, I mean, Jokic probably just shouldn't have played.
I agree. He should
he's obviously banged up and didn't really. He walked into the arena with a brace on his wrist. I don't know if you guys he obviously wasn't. He didn't have in mind that he was going to play a lot. Totally. And I mean, same with Luka. He's also missed a bunch of games heading into the All-Star break.
Yep.
He's probably going to miss games coming out of it, I would think. So I think with those two guys, it was just they're not going to play a lot. But it wasn't great just from the eye test
The
Right.
optics
when
not great.
Durant makes those comments, and then it's just those two guys not playing.
Totally.
It
totally.
certainly didn't have great optics.
No, it didn't. And I think you hit the nail on the head when it's tough because I don't want to sound on the whole, people are right about Jokic in this game. So I don't want to sound too like they are. He hasn't really tried it. This year, I did think it was overlooked that those two guys clearly were just making an appearance to do it. We're on some kind of medical restriction and we're not supposed to, like, not gonna play after that. They almost might have skated by better if they just didn't play in the game at all, to Wynn's point. That said, like, obviously, I'm not going to pretend. I think it still had – that is a fair critique of Jokic that extends over the years, I think, those kind of moments. But I do think people overlooked this year that those two guys were kind of navigating injuries for sure. So,
Dude, yeah, the largest point about it in my mind is that it was a great game for exhibition players.
right.
Like Jason Tatum in years past, the tallest man in the world, exhibition players, so you come off really well in that situation. Jokic is not an exhibition player. He is no part of him. Like if he's playing basketball, it has to mean something. And then he'll give it everything he has. But if it doesn't mean anything, he will give nothing. And that's kind of like, that's just what he is.
Yeah. And this is an example of something. The All-Star game can mean something, like it obviously did, but that it doesn't mean anything to Jokic.
Yeah.
No, but I do think, I kind of think like if this game happened last year and Jokic knew what it was going to be like intensity wise, he may have been more inclined to participate more like earlier, but I think he came out and was like, right, we're all screwing around again, right? And then everybody wasn't. He's like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah. Let's hit another break. We'll wrap up with some All-Star talk on the other side and then talk about the biggest questions for the Nuggets coming out of the All-Star break right after this. Shout out to our friends over at Bet365. Right now, you can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Bet365 is an official partner of the Denver Nuggets, and there's always great stuff to bet on with Bet365. I can't wait for this Nugget season to get back. I can't wait for Superstar Dev to help us win some more bets in the pregame show. Bet along with us every single Nuggets game. We don't take it too seriously. Download the app, use code DNVR365 when you sign up. You can hit that QR code right there on the screen. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. But you got to use the code DNVR365, deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, you can use those bonus bets on spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Also, got to talk about our friends over at STK. Sunday through Thursday, 2:30 to 6:30 and 9 p.m. to close. Happy hours going on Friday and Saturday, 2:30 to 5:30. They're also open late after game days. You get out of a Nuggets game, you get out of an Avs game. A lot of times, there's not a place to go to keep the party going. There's not a ton of bars that are open that late. STK is, and you can also get great food there. Steak night, they've got a 3-course meal plus a glass of wine, $69 per person. Seasonal menus, rotating menu items as well. Open on all holidays. It's dinner with a vibe. Denver has a DJ at STK every single night. It's always a great night there. They've got private dining spaces for corporate events if you're trying to book one of those. Social celebrations too. Make sure to make a reservation. Learn more at stksteakhouse.com. Again, it's perfect downtown. It's a perfect option if you get out of a Nuggets game, an Avs game, coming from a Broncos game, you want to sit down and have a really nice meal, or it's really late and there's not a lot of places open. STK will be great food, really awesome vibe in there, great drinks as well. It's a great place to hang out with friends. good spot to meet up after the game. If you're looking for a great meal in your downtown, check out STK. They got happy hour going on all the time, and most importantly, they are open late. Make a reservation or learn more at stksteakhouse.com. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We're presented by Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app. Do you guys think they should keep it at 3 teams for the All-Star game or go to 2? Because I kind of think it should just be 2 teams. The 3 teams thing was kind of weird to me, but I don't know.
That's what created the competition. Like the round robin it has to be a tournament. This is what we're learning. I don't know. There has to be
everything just has to be a tournament.
Apparently so. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. Like apparently NBA players need there to be some sort of outside force where they feel like they need to give their all to win a tournament, to win a glass vase thing. Like that's what they need. And if they don't have that, then they won't play hard. They don't care. They need a trophy win. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I liked 3 teams. I actually did like 3 teams in the end. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work out as much as when everyone was healthy, before everyone withdrew from it, there was this like, wow, this is lining up narratively, new school NBA, old school NBA team world. I don't really think that part of it came together, but the 3 teams actually worked for me. Because I agree with Eric. I just think something about it. And like rather than one game where 3 quarters is kind of BS and then the 4th they try, you get kind of 3 games that end with that same kind of crescendo. So I liked it.
Yeah, dude. We cannot go back to the old format. It's a failed.
You don't want to go back to East West?
It's a failed experiment. We've tried it. It failed. We cannot go back.
Where do you guys stand on the 1-on-1 tournament? Do you think that'd be cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. That's the one thing that they just should do. I think they should get rid of all the other stuff and just do a game and a 1-on-1 tournament.
Although they should make it where just everybody just has to take on Michael Beasley. That'd be incredible.
Part of me is kind of worried the 1-on-1 tournament would just kind of disintegrate into guys just shooting threes.
It would.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think people think it'd be a little better than it actually would be in reality, but it'd still be worth it, I think.
Well, it depends on. I mean, there has to be a good trophy at the end. We do know that, but if you get the right guys,
at least a $10 million purse.
If you get the right guys in there, and this is their one opportunity to say, like, I'm the guy. This is my whatever. Like, that exists in that format if you want it to. So it could be really. I mean, I've never seen them do it. It would be amazing. I think.
Who do you guys think would be? I kind of feel like
Kyrie. It's like the number one.
Kyrie Irving, if he were healthy, would
maybe. I mean, I'd probably Wembanyama. He's just like
maybe that.
I think Anthony Edwards would probably murder everybody. Like, I think
that's another good one. Yeah,
he just bowls through you, or shoots the 3, or does whatever. Like,
I mean, Kawhi, honestly, just watch.
Yeah,
like, dude, oh yeah, actually, good luck with that.
Yeah, no, actually, dude, Kawhi. Imagine that in the finals, it's Kawhi versus Anthony Edwards. I mean, we got a little bit of this symbolism, although it was pretty forced with the young guys took out the old guys, and it's like the page was turned, but it was only because the old guys were all exhausted, because they were going on to their like 38th and 40th minutes,
Yeah.
So they just, their legs gave out. But imagine if we had that like real page turn, like, LeBron, it's not your league anymore.
The 3 guys I thought about immediately were Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Good answers. Speaking of Kevin Durant, by the way, arguably the big loser of the weekend.
Bro.
Is that even real? Like, I still don't really know.
So I don't know if it's real, but it definitely had him shook. Like, he was on his phone the whole time.
It's also kind of the thing that it might be real, it might be fake, but in the internet's mind, it's real.
Right. And that's what he was dealing with. And my man looked like he was having a panic attack. And also, he missed a ton of shots in those games, dude.
Oh, it's definitely, dude, it's definitely real. But the greatest part is that the content that's come out as a result, like, I saw one guy, he was just like reading, blah, blah, this guy's this, Şengün sucks. And then he ended with Jabari Smith is a hard R word. And it made me laugh so hard.
tough if that's true.
It's his current teammate.
Yeah, I'm aware.
It seemed a little, to me, it honestly seemed a little outlandish, but I mean, what
I don't know, dude. I don't even care if it's real. If to me it's real, and that's all that matters, you know? Like, this is amazing.
In the court of public opinion, it's real now.
That's what I'm saying. And like for a guy like KD who's chronically online, like, you know what it's like if people misunderstood your post and people are like upset with you and you're like, I didn't even do the thing you think, but there's all that you're in it, like you're in it, and all you can do is put your phone down. And guy had his phone out during the player introductions. He could not put his phone down. And then he missed a bunch of shots that I've never seen him miss in his life. So it did feel like it was a tough.
Oh, there was something was happening. And like, if you guys want to understand how chronically online KD is, everybody we know that's covered him has had him in their DMs yelling at them about something they said or wrote. Every person.
Right.
Like, they're like, it was like the first time that KD reaches out to you, you're like, whoa. And then after a while, you're like, bro, like, what am I, Bill Hanslick, and you're Doug Moe? Leave me alone, dude.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Yeah, we'll see what happens to the Houston Rockets.
Dude, they're I don't feel good about that old Rockets squad.
Yeah. Well, we can get on to, what I put down as the headline of today's show. We're just getting to it in minute number 42, which is fine. But sometimes it's just how the show goes. The biggest questions for the Nuggets coming out of the All-Star break. Let's start with my question number one. Jesus. And that question number one, of course, is, can Aaron Gordon stay healthy? It's my biggest question about the Nuggets post All-Star break. I feel like it's honestly pretty simple, man. If Aaron Gordon stays pretty healthy, I think the Nuggets are going to win the championship. If he doesn't, I think their chances of winning the championship go way down. I think they still could win it. I think it would still be on the table, but those percentages would drop drastically. That's how important he is. He's clearly the third most important player. Clearly, I think in a tier by himself in that regard. And, like it or not, that feels like a lot of what this season is going to come down to.
I agree, man. I agree. You're right. It's the number one question. It's the number one concern. Maybe the biggest swing factor in the entire NBA right now, heading into the postseason. If Aaron Gordon is healthy, I think a lot of people will have a lot of interest in how the West might shake out. And the Nuggets, in fact, might become a popular pick from some national media members, especially as like the kind of, it's actually really hard to repeat now thing seems to be descending on OKC, at least to some extent. So I think people would be willing to consider Denver, a real favorite to win the West, one of the two favorites, definitely the biggest contender. And if AJ is not healthy, even from this perspective, it's hard to really think the Nuggets can get it done. I think it's maybe the biggest X factor in the whole league right now.
Totally. Yeah. Real quick, I have a prediction, though.
Yeah.
You know how when, two teams match up in the playoffs, all the national analysts give their picks for the series. And, of course, we've screenshotted a lot of those in the past and brought them back and whatever. Receipts, I think if the Nuggets and Thunder meet in the playoffs and Aaron Gordon's healthy, I bet you that most people take the Nuggets in that series.
I agree. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I agree with you.
Interesting. The one thing I'll say is that, yes, I mean, I think that is obviously the biggest X factor, and it changes a lot. The one thing that I do think has come from this nightmarish season is that we've learned that through Peyton Watson, Spencer Jones, and maybe even Julian Strawther, you can kind of moneyball a little bit Aaron Gordon's output. Sure. If you had to, but you don't want to. Like Aaron Gordon being able, like, he has the ability to do what all of those guys do, and he's just him. But you could get scoring. Spencer Jones has been like really. I mean, I know he's not on an NBA contract currently, so maybe this is off the table. But assuming the Nuggets sign him to an NBA contract and he's able to play again, he could be like. I mean, we've learned he's like very, very useful.
Absolutely. What we've seen from Peyton Watson definitely makes me say, if they don't have Aaron Gordon at 100%, they could still win a championship. Like they could beat the Thunder, I think, without
Especially
healthy Aaron Gordon. It would be
especially
a
if
really
J-Dub
tall
is
task. Sure.
J-Dub, it might be, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
their health is suddenly not assured either. This is obvious. I mean, this is the topic du jour, is that there's so many players that are injured. I think this is true every year, but in every year we act like it's a new thing. There's a bunch of, like but there's, but yeah, I mean, like that could really have a huge impact on the way this all plays out.
For sure. We'll see what Aaron Gordon looks like, and when the Nuggets get him back. It's still going to be a while. I mean, I'm sure he's still out another month, probably.
Is he gonna, dude? Can he do this? Can he, like, first off, get healthy and then get back up to where he needs to be in time,
or stay healthy even?
The stay healthy terrifies me.
That's the part for me. Like, I think if he's healthy, they've got chemistry. They've done this together. They've done it before. Aaron Gordon knows how to play with these guys. And even if he gets the first round to be kind of like 80%, but is he gonna stay healthy? I think is just officially a fair and unfortunate question that hovers over the season.
Dude, his when he came back, it's like he got rehurt so quickly and so predictably, and it was like,
Totally.
Like, come on, man! You just came back and you were just running up the court. Like, oh no.
Yeah. Let's hit our final break. On the other side, we'll talk about some more questions, maybe a couple positive ones, so we can cheer us all up here right after this. Shout out to our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. Denver's best roofers are on DNVR's team. Go with the pros at Red Hawk Roofing. Get your roof checked once a year. It's preventative medicine for the home that you pour your life into. They have you covered. There's no project too small for these guys. They're your go-to for everything from minor repairs to full roof replacements on your home or business. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time. Colorado's best estimators and contractors. Huge DNVR supporters. They'll give you a free no-obligation roof and property inspection. They'll give you a free in-depth photo report for all inspections as well. You can't always see how bad the damage to your roof is from the ground. Call Red Hawk Roofing. Let them go up there and tell you what's going on. Support your local teams and also support your local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing if you're looking for a new roof over your home or business. Be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com, 720-771-8921. Tell them DNVR sent you. Also, shout out to Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers. Look, it's game time, basketball fans, and from tip-off to the final buzzer, you know winning takes teamwork. And when you or a loved one is up against a cancer diagnosis, it shouldn't even go by, I shouldn't even need to ask. You need a team that you can trust to never back down. Through every setback and rebound, you need people you can trust. You need people that are absolute experts in your field that are going to do everything in their power to help you through one of those really tough times. That's where Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers come in. Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers is Colorado's leading cancer specialists with over 30 years delivering nationally recognized care right here at home. They treat more adult cancers than anyone else in the state. So these are the guys. They treat more adult cancers than anyone else in the state. Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, your courage, our expertise. They are here to help. So when you or a loved one is up against a cancer diagnosis, if you or a loved one is in a really tough time medically, go with people that you can trust. Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, they're Colorado's leading cancer specialists. They treat more adult cancers than anyone in the state. Check them out. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We're presented by Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app again. Talking about these biggest Nuggets questions for the rest of the season, I want to move to CB because right before the All-Star break, he was kind of getting going. And I was a little worried, and I even might have said this on a couple of shows. I was a little worried that we were really trending towards just a lost season for Christian Braun. And he was just never going to be the player that even was last year, just with the ankle injury and coming back and then having to go on the shelf again and then coming back with the All-Star break here. But the fact that he put together a couple really good games, I mean, 20 points, 7-13 shooting, 5 rebounds, 2 assists against the Cavs, 14, 7, and 6 against the Grizzlies. He shot 4 of 8 from 3 against the Cavs. Him just having those couple games at the All-Star break, now I'm like, okay, maybe he can get back to being Christian Braun. And I think we're at a point just with the Nuggets right now where he has to, with Peyton Watson out. He's got to pick up some of that scoring. He's got to take on some of that responsibility defensively. But him just having a couple vintage Christian Braun games before the break, it made me think, okay, like maybe we do see CB back again this year.
I agree. I thought he looked much more like himself. I thought it was really encouraging. I thought it was a nice reminder that while he certainly got off to a slow start to the year, we are really largely talking about an injury here, a significant one. And so a guy whose game is predicated on his burst, his athleticism, his quickness, his motor, as he said in his own words, he's just not going to be able to be quite himself if that's not right. I think there are some through line questions that persist, right? In certain matchups, how our teams are going to guard Christian Braun in the half court. Like, I don't think the way OKC guards him is going to change.
Nope.
But the Nuggets as a team might have more answers. Okay, we'll play Peyton instead. We'll play Tim here. There are still other games between them, other matchups between them, other series where Christian Braun is a very helpful player. And to have him, what he kind of brings in terms of another guy who hustles, plays really hard, can kind of transform how they can score in transition. This is a team that's left a lot on the table in transition at times. He provides a lot of stuff that they need. They're a better team with him in the lineup, like in the rotation, than not. So there are some scary questions that persist, but I think it was really encouraging him to just look like Christian Braun again, because it was just so long without us having seen it.
Yeah.
Man, this is the type of thing that reminds you how terrible this season has actually been. We have so many players. Like, do you remember how goddamn good Christian Braun was last year?
I know.
That he got, again, I come back to this every time we question him. We felt like we got a deal at 25 million a year. That is that contract he signed after the year he had, and Bobby Marks was saying he should be a $30 million a year player. And I fully expect him to come back to that level. And you have then Cam Johnson, and you have Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray that all need to also hit their highs again. And you have Aaron Gordon that maybe could come back. And it's just like, bro, this team is so good. Like, it's so good. And this season is so frustrating because we have to just navigate this fake, all of this fake drama that it's like, what's the answer? I don't know. Having our team back is the answer. Like, we would be better if our team was back. And I totally expect him. I'm like both of you guys. Like, I'm big on seeing little indicators that a player maybe is starting to feel the game maybe slow down again.
Yep.
And is able to sort of keep up physically, like you said, Vogt. I mean, that is really what his game is predicated on. And he looks like, and he's like getting couple games ago, he was blowing layups. That's his calling card. And then the last couple he didn't. And you're like, all right, okay, all right. So yeah, dude, I would bet a lot of money that Christian Braun returns to form.
One other question I have about the Nuggets heading out of the All-Star break is, how calm, cool, and collected will David Adelman be throughout the rest of the season? I think largely this season, he's been very calm, cool, and collected. He's been pretty strategic. He's been pretty composed on the sidelines. And of course, that's very easy to do when you're winning, even when you have the injuries that you've had. I mean, he's been thrown into a crazy situation for a first-time head coach. And like we were saying on Friday's show, we all generally think he's done a really, really good job. But, you lose 4 or 5, fist starts to get a little tighter, and you start to panic a little bit. And I feel like we saw some weird panicky decisions for him in this stretch right before the All-Star break. Now things are about to get way more real. You come out of the All-Star break, you only have 20 something games left. They've played 55. So not a ton of games left to go. You're in contention for seeding right now. The Nuggets will exit the All-Star break in the 3rd overall seed. You got the Rockets a game behind you. You got the Lakers and Wolves a game and a half behind you. So I'm just curious how David Adelman and what his temperament is going to be like throughout the rest of this regular season. Because we know we're not going to have Peyton Watson for a bit. Aaron Gordon's going to be out for a bit. There's still going to be this shuffling of lineups. Can he keep it together for these next couple months? I'm actually really curious to see.
It's an interesting question. He's with the players. He's been really, I think, I don't want to say lenient. I think Malone was much quicker to call the players out than Adelman is.
Yeah, for sure.
Checks out when you consider all the circumstances, but his general message seems to be like, I think it's understandable that there are lapses in XYZ. I do wonder if does he reach a point where he kind of has these guys aren't watching film moment of just with the defense, he certainly seems to be. I think the one place where you've seen him really let loose emotionally is at the referees. Like, I think he's fine. Like, I think he's really starting to kind of lose his wits there, especially with how Jokic is officiated. But as far as that kind of permeating and seeping into his decision making, that is interesting, because Eric pointed this out a lot. Like, I do think there were some choices in the OKC series where, like, I don't think he perfectly nailed the Jokic rotations, and certainly tried some things that, and I think we saw a little bit as Jokic came back with the minutes restriction, the Wind was just alluding to it, of maybe not exactly sure of how to handle that, when to put him in, when not. And that stuff all does kind of give you a hindsight appreciation of some of Malone's rigidity and like how like it just, because it's like, yeah, that's probably not a word, is it? I see Eric trying to figure it out. I think there's
oh no, I was looking at that.
Rigidness.
Rigidity is absolutely a word.
Let's go. I'm a professional writer, so I know that. But yeah, it is kind of interesting. I do think there's a little bit more of Adelman's rotations might change on a whim. And as cool as that is, there is a little bit of, like, in a playoff series, does that get kind of scary?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I really am, like you just said. I mean, like, I am reminded there are echoes of the way he handled the OKC series in the back of my head all the time, because I don't think he did a very good job. In fact, I think he punted 2 games in a row and cost the Nuggets the series. Frankly, I do think that. I do think, though, these circumstances are different. That was like absolutely just trial by fire. He was the first time head coach. He's an interim head coach, and he's going down this path of trying to get this team over the hump where whatever. To me, that was just too much to ask of him at that stage.
Yeah.
I've seen him, like, I haven't been mad at his rotations barely at all this year. I'm feeling more and more like he's like he kind of gets it more now. And I think that he does. Like, I just have more faith in him now than I did at the end of last season. So I don't think it'll be an issue, but he is yelling at the refs more. He does turn into like a little cherry tomato every now and again, just bright red. He
can't believe the efficiency. That's one of my biggest things is watching, in person as much as I get to, watching him on the sidelines. Obviously, he's been on that sideline for a minute, but now that he's at the helm, the way Jokic is officiated, how it changes night to night, it is ruining David Adelman's life. Like, it's taking months off the lifespan for sure.
Well, hopefully he can hold it together for another 4 months through the playoffs, 2 months until the playoffs.
Oh my God.
Hopefully I can hold it together until then.
Dude, I'm saying, like, we have gone through, this has been what percentage of the season has been good, would you say?
I mean, how much of the season accounts for that one Philadelphia game?
I think more of it's been good than it feels.
I'm of course kidding. I mean, it's tough to think back. Now, there have been some awesome moments, Christmas Day, the wins without Jokic, like Jamal Murray's all-star season, of course. There have been some awesome moments of the season. It's just been overshadowed by every single injury.
The whole thing, it's a lesser version of what it should be. It's
exactly.
Just like, You're like, this is cool. I'm glad we can show that we can win without Jokic, but we can't win without Jokic, man. Where's Jokic?
Totally. I find myself wondering, is this a season that's great and doesn't feel as good as it should because of all this stuff? Or is this a cursed season that's had so many good moments we can't see that as clearly as it is? Obviously, this is a consequentialist perspective. We'll find out based off how they do, but it does feel like it's one of those two things, and it's up in the air right now.
For sure. Well, everybody, thanks for hanging out on today's show. Thanks to Jeff Morton for joining us to talk about Doug Moe. That was
Jeff looks great, by the way. How about Jeff? Cleaned up, looking awesome.
Dang, dude. Stop lusting after Jeff now that he's
My bad.
gone.
My bad. Tough note to end on.
If you're new to this channel, we talk about the Nuggets every single day. They got to practice tomorrow, so they're back at it. We'll be back recording as well at our usual time. Hit that subscribe button if you're not a DNVR subscriber. Hit that thumbs up button as well. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.